Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm the anime trainer and I have been preparing for a bodybuilding competition. That is a new thing. I have never done that before, and the reason I'm doing it is because about 20 years ago, my dad did a bodybuilding competition, uh, you know, for the state or whatever. It was just his first time doing it. He just wanted to do it, and that's cool. But now, being 60, he's like, I want to do another one. And he's like, I want you to do it with me. And it's like, okay, that's cool. So yeah, so here I am, training for a bodybuilding competition, trying to get swole. I got about 2 years. I could probably push off another. It's actually about 18 months, but I could probably push off another year if I wanted to try to put on some more size. And I'm not really going to be in probably the like open or anything or like classic. It's probably going to be more like men's physique because I don't think I can get big enough in that short amount of time to be on like a bodybuilding stage. So that's what neither here nor there. Point is competing in some form or fashion. So currently we are doing a going through 3 different programs. We've kind of layered a couple of different things. First week is German volume training, and that's 3 days a week split, with the other 3 days that we normally train being more like cardio, mobility, and things like that. And then on the second week, so that's week 1 and week 4, and then week 2 and week 5 are all of us training, which if you're not familiar with that, you can check that out on the channel. It's we've got a whole like series of workouts based on Sergio Oliva's training, from Oliva from Baki, since that's who he's based on. And then weeks 3 and 6 are Broly's training. So we're going to do, it goes GVT, Oliva, Broly. So we start off with like lots and lots and lots of volume, and then we have a little less volume, a little more strength, so it's hypertrophy and strength, and then we move into a power building program with Broly. And so it's kind of just, so we're not stagnating on any one thing, and I am paying attention to where the 1 rep maxes are looking like, so that each week, from week to week, that I can be progressing, and it's not just, stagnating because I don't know what I'm looking at from 1 week to the next. Because, doing 10 sets of 10 with German volume training, you're like, well, what am I supposed to be using for, Oliva this week, since I'm trying to be working off a percentage of my 1 rep max. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just adding 5 pounds to the 1 rep max for the calculations per week. Now, mind you, this is a training max, so it's probably not my true max. It's just what I'm working off, and that allows me to be able to scale up those percentages from week to week without being too over the top about it. And there's not really any maxing out on it. The heaviest stuff we're going to hit is during the Broly program, because the first sets are 5 sets totaling 15 reps. So basically 5 sets of 3, and that's working at 80 to 85% of our 1 rep max. So heavy, but not terribly heavy. We're not touching anything near close to 1 rep max. And that's partially by design, because we want to get big. And we want to get strong, but we primarily want to get big. And we also don't want to spend a large amount of energy, and the risk for doing 1 rep max work, 1 to 3 rep max, is kind of high compared to what you get training wise out of it in terms of size. You're going to get a real strong neurological adaptation, but the hypertrophy is just not as good as it would be if you were hitting something that would be more 5, 6 rep max or something like that. I have a series on the channel where I talk about training for size, training for strength, training for endurance, that kind of thing. So you can check that out. I'll actually put all these videos that I'm talking about in the description so you guys can see them. But you guys, the reason I'm even talking about this to begin with is because you guys asked me to. I was not really even going to talk about this journey that I'm on, because I don't know, I feel weird talking about myself sometimes, which is weird since I'm on YouTube, but I feel weird talking about myself, so I wasn't really going to share the journey, but somebody was like, oh, you should totally catalog going from not doing bodybuilding training at all to trying to get on stage. So here I am. You know, I've done a lot of different things in my time as a trainer. I've tried to learn lots and lots of different things so that I can train lots and lots of different kinds of people. I've done, when I was in high school, I did bodybuilding and powerlifting. When I was in college, I did a ridiculous, ungodly amount of calisthenics and martial arts. And then after that, I got really into like CrossFit stuff and obstacle course racing. And then from there, I was just trying to get strong. And now, after a little bit like the COVID layoff, I was doing a lot of like fight training because I didn't have access to a gym. And now here I am, having access to a gym again, getting back into the swing of things, and I'm trying to get swole. And it's nice because it's got something, you got something to shoot for. There's a defined, you know, competing is always good because you've got a specific thing that you're going after. But it's definitely not something I've ever really focused on before. So I've got to think about shaping muscles a little differently because sometimes there were certain movements that I didn't really focus on a whole lot, just because they were more aesthetic based rather than, functional things that I used to train for all the time. So it's going to be a pretty interesting journey. This is my first long vlog about it. I have posted several videos on TikTok and then also on like the Instagram and Facebook pages for the Anime Trainer. So if you guys have not followed me there, please follow me there so you can kind of get like the daily updates, because it's like some really quick excerpts from the workout or how I'm feeling. And then sometimes I'll also do like little coachy things on there really quickly. But this is just kind of like more dump about how I'm feeling in general. And honestly, it's been kicking my ass because I've done programs, I've done each of these programs in one form or fashion before, but I'm really pushing it hard. And it's not just that I'm doing the recommended weights and reps and all that stuff, but sometimes it's like at the end of a set, okay, we're gonna do baby reps and we're gonna like burn that muscle up, or we're gonna make sure that we are absolute failure on this last set so that we got as much blood pumped into that muscle as possible, because that's what it's about, is trying to get big. And I don't know if I'm gonna do any like the gimmicky stuff, like wearing the like blood restriction bands. I mean, they work. They've got some science behind them. I just don't know if I want to mess with it. It's going to be an interesting journey. I hope that you guys enjoy this process of me talking about it. And if you have questions, feel free to ask. I might make videos on certain topics that you guys questions that you have. I may not even know what you might ask. I have no idea what you're going to ask, honestly. But it's pretty cool. Me and my dad are doing it, and then Pat, you'll see him working out with me too. He's not going to be getting on stage, but he's still following the same program that we're going to be doing. So it's going to be interesting to see what he looks like, and also my cousin Greg. He works out with us on a pretty regular basis. What they're looking like going forward, but they're not focused on getting on stage. Speaking of being on stage, I am just slightly nervous about being mostly naked in front of everybody. It's going to be weird. If I'm doing men's physique, I think I can wear shorts, so that's not going to be as big of a deal, so I think I'll be okay. I'm a little bit nervous about having to get that lean because I feel awful when I'm that lean. When I used to fight, every time I'd get to my fight weight, I didn't ever feel good. Which is awful when you're supposed to like be performing. But I hear that bodybuilders don't feel good on stage anyway, so that's whatever. And the last thing that I'm sort of nervous about is like even when I'm really lean, I've got this little like layer of fat like around my midsection, like love handle area, that doesn't really go away. And I don't know how lean I need to be to make that go away, because I was really lean when I used to fight, and like it didn't matter. Like it was still there. So I don't know if it's going to be something I'm going to have to super diet on. But right now it's the swole times. I've been eating a whole bunch of food, trying to bulk. I'm not trying to turn it into a dirty bulk. I am just trying to do a little bit more than is necessary for caloric maintenance. But at the same time, I'm having to eat a little bit more protein, and yeah, it's a sort of balancing act. I do need to get a food scale because it's going to make that a lot simpler, especially as I start getting toward cutting time. And I also should probably like do serious meal prepping, just so that I'm not constantly having to make things from day to day. I can just kind of like do stuff ahead of time and then have everything planned out. You know, people discount bodybuilding, but I've known this for a long time. I feel like bodybuilding is one of the hardest sports that there is. And the reason I say that is because you have to be on point all the time with your workouts, with your sleep, with your supplementation, with your food. There's not really a lot of room for error if you want to try to get as big and as lean as possible to be on stage. You got to be about it all the time. Now, of course, there's an off season, but even in that off season, you're still lifting to be big, to put on size. And I mean, I got a lot of respect for the guys who do it. I grew up watching bodybuilding, watching powerlifting stuff. So like, but specifically bodybuilding, I went to a lot of shows when I was a kid, and I really respect it. But I don't know if I could do it long term, because it's just. I imagine it can get really brutal, and honestly, you'll probably see a completely different side of me once I'm actually like super cutting. I'll probably be a jerk, but so I don't know how this is going to go. This is like I said, a very open, like me trying to pour my heart out to you, vlog series, and I'm going to try to do one of these a week. Trying to update what's going on, and daily. I try to do daily or most days on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, that kind of stuff, for little short things. So if you want to join me on this journey, please, follow me on all of those other platforms. And if you are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit like on this video for me. I'd really appreciate it. But honestly, this is mostly for the subscribers who wanted to follow the journey. So thank you guys very much for wanting to do it with me. It'll probably keep me a little more honest knowing that you guys are here with me, and it'll drive me a little bit when I probably inevitably get tired of eating large amounts of food and lifting really heavy. But you know what? I didn't think that would be a problem, but I could see how it could be tiring later on. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching this video. It was a little chaotic, but whatever. It's just a vlog, me talking about stuff. Until next time, guys, I'm the Anime Trainer. Good luck and train hard.